My hair needs cutting and my fringe is going into my eyes, but if you can ignore it, then I can ignore it and we can all get along fine and dandy and it will be lovely. Okay, I've been strikingly absent from YouTube recently, and the reason for that is I've just not felt like making videos. I don't know if it's because I fell out of habit and then, you know, when you don't do something for ages you don't want to do it. Does everybody get that? I don't know, nah. Anyway, I thought I would do Vita to like ease back into it, get back into the habit, so here I am. I'm a little bit daunted by the task of doing a video every day for 31 days, but we'll see how it goes. You know, I'm not promising anything, but you know, I've got some ideas. I thought maybe I'd just like kick off with some like reviews of things that I've enjoyed recently. And like recommend them to you. So we'll call this July favourites, even though it's very much only in like the book and really just the book category. I do have one other thing, but yeah. Okay, so this I actually got, I think it was back in either June or May. I had one of those Waterstone stamp cards, you know, where you get 10 and then you get £10 off your next purchase. So I was being quite frivolous, and I saw this and I looked at the cover, I thought the cover looked cool, read the blurb, thought that sounded cool. So this is it. This is Bloodstain. It started as a webcomic, which has now got its first actual real live volume. It is by Linda. I don't know how to pronounce her last name and I feel very guilty, so I'm just going to show you it, and if anybody can assist me with that then I will be grateful. I actually started reading it when I first got it and then I stopped, and then recently I picked it up again where I left off and I was just like, whoa, my god, yeah, this is really good. So I went straight to Linda's DeviantArt account, where she has got volume 2 completed. I will link that below. Where you can also read volume 1 for free. I've not started reading volume 3 yet, because the thing with webcomics is I will find one and then I will read it like everything that's already been made, and I will read that in one big chunk, and that's, you know, satisfying. But because then they're uploaded page by page, you have to wait, like you have to read them like in tiny little segments, because it's just like a page at a time. Which, you know, is fine, I understand, and a lot of work goes into that, but I think I'm going to wait until volume 3 or chapter 3 is completed and then read that one. But it's very, very good, and I would recommend it. The artwork is lovely, and whilst not like explicitly spooky so far, it does have like a very spooky feel to it. I mean, this guy right here is called Dr. Vlad Stein. What more do you want? Another comic I picked up recently was the DC Comics Showcase edition of the new Harley Quinn. I recently went down to Norwich for a couple of days and I was just browsing the WH Smith before I got on my train, and I saw this and it was fairly cheap and it was #1, so I thought, oh great, I can read it beginning to end and it'll give me a taste of like whether this comic is actually worth reading, and then I can buy the proper versions of it. And I found it very, very funny. I loved it. I know a lot of people are a little bit iffy with the new characterization of Harley Quinn, but I like it because she's away from the Joker in this. You know, it gives her an opportunity to expand. People are different under different circumstances, so I can see this happening. I can see her being like this, and I'll tell you what, I laughed out loud on the train a couple of times. So it is worth the read. It is very funny. Go forth and read about Harley Quinn. Thirdly, last year I read The Miniaturist by Jessie Burton and loved it. So since then I have been waiting for her second novel to come out, which is called The Muse, and now it has. I originally planned on getting it when it came out in paperback, you know, because I'm a little bit strapped for cash at the moment. But I went into the Waterstones at Sheffield and it just so happened that they had a bunch of signed copies by Jessie Burton herself, so I thought, yeah, that's me sold. Okay, give me the signed thing. It's a really beautiful copy actually. It's hardback, lovely dust cover with shiny bits, red pages, very nice inside. I love it very much. The book itself, I am this far through, and honestly I can't put it down. It is so good. I think I might be enjoying it even more than The Miniaturist. I'm not sure. Maybe it's half and half, but I do love it. So yeah, I would recommend this to anyone who enjoys historical fiction and likes to shake things up a bit, because like half of it is in 1967 in London and the other half is in 1936 in Spain. So it gives you a nice variety. And yeah, just the way she writes is just fabulous. And yeah, couldn't ask for anything more in a book, really. I love it. Okay, finally, and this one is a little bit unusual for me because I have only just started listening to podcasts. It's not something that ever like occurred to me to do before. But it turns out that this month I have been listening to two that have really, really caught my interest, and I'm going to recommend to you right now. So the first one is the Banging Book Club, which is a book discussion group with Hannah Witten, Lena Norms and Lucy Moon. Oh my god, I love it so much. It's available on iTunes. I'm not sure if it's still available on SoundCloud. I used to listen to it on SoundCloud because I didn't have iTunes on my laptop at that point, but now I've got it, so I listen to it on iTunes. All the books that they read and talk about are about sex and sexuality and, you know, like everything under that umbrella, basically. And it's just so entertaining and interesting to listen to. Like, I watch them all on YouTube anyway, so yeah, I obviously like listening to them talk. It's just nice, like, listening to them get together and talk about interesting topics, you know, perhaps in ways that, you know, you might not necessarily think of at a first glance. I am not reading along with them because, like, I just don't have the money to be getting the books that they are reading at the moment. But you know, some of them I have like thought, yeah, I'm gonna put that on my list because no, it's just, you know, I like sharing books and sharing the knowledge and that kind of, yeah. Yeah, I love it. I love it. Go listen if you are interested in anything under the topic of sexuality at all. Just go listen. Go forth. I love it. I love it. I cannot rave about this enough. Go listen. The second one, there is sort of a story behind. A few weeks ago, Juliet Lando followed me on Twitter for goodness knows what reason. That's Drusilla from Buffy, for those of you who didn't know or had forgotten. And yeah, I love Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It is my favourite show of all time ever. I will rewatch it and rewatch it, and yeah, love Buffy. So since that happened, I've just got a few more followers who seem to be following me for Buffy reasons, because, you know, in their, like, descriptions or whatever, it'll say, oh, something to do with Buffy. So I'm like, oh, great. You know, I'm always up for sharing the Buffy love. But one of the accounts that followed me was the Sunnydale Study Group, which is a podcast about Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where they are essentially rewatching the series and just talking about each episode and life things, as they put it. They have done a lot of episodes so far, so I have got to get very caught up, but I've been listening to it, and honestly, I love Buffy. So, you know, hearing people talk about Buffy in, like, you know, just entertaining and intelligent ways, I just love it. So yeah, if you are a fan of Buffy, or if you want to get into Buffy, you're considering watching the series, I'd definitely give this a go because, yeah, no, it's really good. I will link to their Twitter if you're interested at all. So yeah, that's me on my first day of Vida. I hope that this was nice and entertaining for you, even if you're not interested in any of the things I recommended. I will see you tomorrow, hopefully, if I keep up the momentum. So let's hope that I do. Love you all very much. Okay, bye-bye!